Hi everyone, welcome to another interesting lesson. In today's lesson, we want to solve this problem. We want to solve for the value of x in this nice problem. 81 over x squared equal to x squared over 81. In this solution, we are going to use a different approach, a different method, and a shortcut method, which you can also learn to improve your skill in solving this problem. You do like to stick to the end of the video to see how this will be unveiled. So let's begin. Solution. We have 81 over x squared equal to x squared over 81. So now let's have y to be equal to 81 over x. Over here, so from the left hand side of the problem, the question, we have that 81 over x squared, which can be written as 1 over x multiplied by 81 over x. So we have our y to be equal to this. Now let's put our y here. That will be equal to 1 over x multiplied by y. So, and this can give us equal to y over x. So back to our question, we have 81 over x squared equal to x squared over 81. So since this equal to y over x, so we substitute that into this part. So we have y over x will now be equal to x squared over 81. So now we multiply both sides by 81x, multiply by 81x, multiply by 81x. Now here, this x, we go with this x, and 81, we cancel out 81. So we are left with 81y equal to x squared multiplied by x, we have x cubed. Now we have that our y is initially equal to this part. Okay, this is equal to our y, this one. So we substitute that over here. So we have 81 multiplied by 81 over x equal to x cubed. So if we multiply both sides by x, so this will, it will eliminate this over here at the denominator at the left hand side. We now have our next step to be 81 multiplied by 81 equal to x to the power of 4. So 81 multiplied by 81 is given by 6,561 will be equal to x to the power of 4. Now here we can simplify this to be equal to 9 to the power of 4. So multiplying 9 4 times will give us this value. So that will be equal to x to the power of 4. So from here we can rewrite this as 9 to the power of 2 into bracket to the power of 2 equal to x to the power of 2 into bracket to the power of 2. And we can as well rewrite this as x to the power of 2 into bracket equal to 9 to the power of 2 into brackets to the power of 2. Both sides, we have square of x squared into bracket squared equal to square root of 9 square into bracket squared. So we have this cancel out with this, and this cancel out with this. So it implies that x squared is equal to plus or minus 9 squared. So this implies that our value of x squared is equal to 9 squared, or x squared is equal to minus 9 squared. So we treat this accordingly. So let's take this part first. So we have x squared minus 9 squared. So we can side, we have square root of x squared equal to plus or minus square root of 9 squared. So this square root cancel out with this square. Then we also have this squared cancel out with this square root, and this will give us x will now be equal to plus or minus 9, and this will be our value of x. It implies that x is equal to x1, which is equal to 9, then x2 will be equal to minus 9. So this will be our value of x, which is x1 and x2. So we compute. So let's find the solution of x at this part. We have x squared equal to minus 9 squared. You can as well square this. We have square root of x squared equal to square root of minus 9 squared. Here, this square cancel out with this square root. We have x, which is equal to plus or minus. So this can be expressed as square root of 9 squared multiplied by square root of minus 1. Okay, and here we have this to be equal to plus or minus square root of 9 squared multiplied by square root of minus 1 will give us high. So now we have this square to cancel out with this square root, and that will give us plus or minus 9 high, which will be our value of x. So this implies that x3 will be the next value that we compute from this, and that will be equal to 9i. Then the next value will now be x4, which is equal to minus 9i. So these are the other value of x. So this implies that x1 equal to 9, x2 equal to minus 9, then x3 equal to 9i, x4 equal to minus 9i. So these are all the possible value of 9. These are all the possible value of x we have to find. The next thing here to show us the shortcut method to solve this kind of problem. So From our question, we have 81 over x squared equal to x squared over 81. So we let y to be equal to x squared over 81. Now we express this in terms of y. So we express 81 over x squared in terms of y, in terms of y. So we want to express this in terms of y, which is this part. Okay, now we have this to be equal to, so if this is equal to y, it means that this part will be 1 over y, because the inverse of this part is this part. So we now have that to be equal to 81 over x squared will be 1 over y. Substitute y and 1 over y back into our question. So we have 1 over y will be equal to y. So this implies that 1 over y will be equal to y. So we multiply both sides by y. We have 1 is equal to y squared. So this implies that y squared is equal to 1. So if we take the square root of both sides, we have square root of this part, then square root of 1 will be plus or minus. So this cancel out with this. We have y to be equal to plus or minus 1. We have two values of y here. Then we now substitute our value of y back into what we given as y earlier before. So our y earlier before was equal to y is equal to x squared over 81 at y equal to 1. So we have y to be equal to x squared over 81. So this implies that x squared over 81 equal to 1. Then we multiply both sides by 81. So we have x squared equal to 81. So we take the square root of both sides. We have square root of x squared equal to square root of 81, which should be plus or minus 81. So this square cancel out the square root. We have x to be equal to plus or minus square root of 81 is equal to 9. So x is equal to x1, which is 9, or x2, which is minus 9. So at our y equal to minus 1, we have x squared over 81 equal to minus 1. Multiply both sides by 81, we have x squared equal to minus 81. We take the square root of both sides, we have square root of x squared equal to square root of minus 81. So this implies that this square cancel out this square root. We have x equal to plus or minus 81, square root of 81, x equal to plus or minus square root of 81 multiplied by square root of minus 1. So this implies that x will be equal to plus or minus square root of 81 is given by 9, y square root of minus 1 is given by I. So it implies that x3 is equal to 9i, while x4 is equal to minus 9i, which are the imaginary part of x. So it means that our value of x for the shortcut is also given as x1 equal to 9, x2 equal to minus 9, x3 equal to 9i, and x4 is equal to minus 9i. So these are all the possible values of x in our shortcut as well. Hope you enjoy this method. If you do, please subscribe to this channel, like the video, and share the video to your loved ones. Bye for now.